Samsung SGH T989D. Now the actual name is the Samsung Galaxy S2 X, and it's running Android version 4.12. Take a look at this. All right, so here's the way it looks. I'm gonna quickly power this down so that way I can show you inside of it. It powers down really quickly. You'll notice that the outside, we've got the back-facing camera, we've got the ear assembly, we've got no center button in the middle here. Now, usually that was one of Samsung's main things, is they would have a button right here. But on this unit, they decided not to put it. We've just got 4 haptic buttons: search, back, home, and settings. Now this sucker opens up really easily. So you open that up, and it's got just a little plastic backing on it. You'll notice about this that it's got a plastic ring that runs all the way around of it, as well as a mini USB, so you don't need a special plug for your AC adapter. Now we've got a removable battery right here, and this battery is good for, usually lasts me a day and a half. Now I bought another one so I could swap them out just in case I needed extra power on the run. Here's the SIM card right here. I'm on Bell right now. That's a Canadian company. Here's I got a little 4 gig in here, but I think it'll handle up to 32 gig. So that's a nice thing about this. I think this unit itself has something like 16 gig. But this sucker handles whatever you put in it pretty much. So that just pops in there and goes together pretty simply, just like that. We got our speaker at the back here, which is interesting that sometimes when you've got your hand down, you may accidentally cover it up. So just watch out for that. All right, so let's power it up. I'll show you some of the little features that we've got on here. It's got the regular Samsung startup. I used to have a Discover, and the startup is very similar. Of course, that if your volume is up, it'll give you that little Samsung song. Do 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 do. But what I've noticed about this is that it doesn't seem to have much in the way of pocket dialing. I had a HTC Desire, and that sucker would pocket dial all the time. I'd get people, asking me why I called them, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And what can I say? Oh, my pocket dialed you. Kind of sucks. All right, so let's take a look at this. You can choose whatever background you want for the back. I just left it plain. It's got the phone option, it's got messages, and it's got camera. I believe you can set those to whatever you want them to be. You just swipe that particular piece to get onto it. What I like about this is that you can swipe vertically. You don't have to swipe horizontally for that. You can get back in it by hitting the power button, but you don't have to swipe it left to right. I believe that's how iPhones work, and so it's nice that no matter where you are, you can just, go like that, whether you're upside down or not. Now, here's where all your notifications happen, right up top here. Now, you can see it just connected to my Wi-Fi. That's because I set my Wi-Fi. The main options are right up top here. You got Wi-Fi, GPS, which I don't tend to use too often. That's if you use that with the Maps option. Vibration, of course. That includes haptic vibration, I believe. Screen rotation, that way if you go like this, it'll pop over. Oh, not within settings, apparently. But it'll pop over if you're in anything else. Bluetooth, if you want to connect your earphones or connect it to your deck in your car, which I have recently done, which is really awesome, by the way. We've got blocking mode, which means nothing will come in and out. Power saving, which I think dims your lights, it turns your volumes down. Sync, which is all your notification syncs, as well as your backups. So yeah, if you're syncing your browsers, or if you're syncing your email, it'll sync. Now there's a bunch of stuff that come with the phone. I'll go into the apps. You've got a line down here. You've got the regular 7 pages that the 2 Samsung Galaxy 2 has. Here's my regular home page, and I just put a bunch of stuff on it. But here's the regular apps that come with it. I put a couple of other ones on. I think from this point on are all of mine. It's got one thing I didn't show you is the flashlight function. You just install one of the free apps from the Google Play Store, and just say no to the ads, and it does a fantastic job of helping you out when you're walking outside, or if you're trying to fit your key in somewhere and you're like help. It really helps. Wi-Fi Manager I've installed, and the cool thing about Wi-Fi Manager is it'll give you a list, and I find the functionality much better than the built-in. So, which is in your settings. You can quickly go over the settings, but we got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage. Data usage is handy because there's a lot of options in there. I'm not going to go through all the settings. Maybe I'll do that in a different video. But it's got standard settings. Let's see if there's anything. Of course, location services with your GPS. Your accounts that are all synced up right there. And yeah, you can pretty much add any account. Like we've got Samsung account, I believe. Yeah, there's all sorts of different accounts that you can do. And of course, there's motion gestures that you can do, like when the phone turns to a certain place, it'll do something specific. Developer options, which I've used. This particular phone is used to be on the Telus system, and I popped it over to Bell by doing an unblock. So I'm going to show you, yeah, like I said, a lot of the apps are pretty handy. There's nothing out of the ordinary with this unit when it comes to apps. I'll suffice to say, if you know which apps Samsung ships with, this will have it. There's a couple of interesting ones that are Samsung specific, which you'll see when you pick up this phone. Nothing that blows me away, but it is what it is. I'm going to say this display on these are really nice. Like I said, I had one of those Discovers before, a smaller Samsung, and the screen was just ugly compared to this. Everything is sharp, the edges of everything is sharp, everything looks good. The nice thing about this too is it's quite fast, relatively speaking, compared to that HTC Desire Z or Desire Z. It's just blows them away. It does become a little bit slower when something is auto-updating. So you can turn that functionality off, and I definitely suggest it if you want your speed. So if you're gaming or something like that, yeah, definitely. One thing I noticed about HTC too is that sometimes your widgets aren't quite up to snuff. This particular one I find quite good. It'll show you, future temperature, all sorts of great stuff. You just put in your zip code or your postal code, and it comes up. Also GPS, it'll tell you where you are. I used it in California, and it worked really well. I just like to put up my gallery, YouTube, maps. I'm going to say that this camera, the camera that comes with this, is actually not too bad, but it's not amazing. So I'm going to say that If you're into buying a camera, I just did a bunch more research on cameras. If you're into buying a camera, maybe go for a Nokia, because their cameras, this I believe is, yeah, it's not a huge megapixel camera, and movie mode, in my estimation, movie mode is just not that great. I'm a video maker, and so I'm looking for that sort of thing. I want manual functions, and yeah, movie mode on this is really not great. And noticed on the Samsung Galaxy S2, not the X, so the one that was available on Bell, they've got a different camera that's horizontal or kind of vertical this way, and it's amazing. It just takes amazing footage and amazing photos, and that's kind of, when I bought this, I thought that that's kind of what I was getting. Just keep a lookout. If you're looking for really sharp photos, get the S2, not the S2X. The S2, of course, has the button in the bottom, which when you press goes, "What would you like to do?" all the time. That's just one of the limitations. Okay, so the music playback on this is fantastic. Let's see what we've got. The sound on these, really quite nice. You know, I was pleasantly surprised by the volume that you get out of these, as well as the tone. The functionality of the built-in music player is not terribly great. I don't really like the way it operates. If you're trying to find specific playlists, or if you're trying to find specific tracks, yeah, this is really not the app to do that in. It's yeah, it's not very intuitive. With this unit, I consistently just use the Play Store. It ships with the Samsung Store as well, but the Play Store has 99% of what you'll be looking for. This phone also allows you to install apps that aren't authorized, you know, specifically authorized by Samsung or Android. So you just turn that functionality on, and bam, you've got some really good stuff. Yeah, you can root these phones apparently quite easily. It's a little bit above my capability, but you know, it's okay. The functionality of the photography is quite simple. You know, it's very easy to use. You know, just you turn your flash on and off. You could turn the thing about this one is that you can turn your shutter sounds off, which are really great. By turning your shutter sounds off, you can actually you know, use it in a situation you're trying to be a little bit more coy. So what I don't like is the review function on this camera. It opens up the gallery, so it takes another couple of seconds. So we're looking at 4 or 5 seconds if you want to preview your the shots you just took. If you're looking for, you know, getting kind of selfies, the preview is really kind of shoddy. So I'm hoping and I'm thinking that they fix that with the S3s, but who knows? Yeah, the functionality is quite good. The typing on this, that's probably one thing. The typing on this is brilliant. You know, here, I'll just open this up. The keyboards were something that I was quite concerned about on these, but using these keyboards is a piece of pie. I have haptic feedback on, so it vibrates every time I touch a button, and it works really nicely. This is just one of the Samsung Note options, and it allows me to type whatever I want and save it. I'm not going to save it, but you can if you want. And the cool thing about this is that if you want a capital letter, you basically just, you know, it's a piece of pie. There's a couple of other things that you can do with this, but I'm not going to go into that because it would make this video way long. But I wanted to just kind of give you a a good impression of overall how this phone is. I have found, and I've talked to people who have had problems with the switch. The switch is right here, and sometimes the switch gets a little gimpy. Now, if anything gets in there, say a little bit of lint or dust or something like that, most people use these larger cases that fit over these. And there's a reason for that, because if this switch starts getting a little clogged up, it'll totally shut the whole unit down. And yeah, I've had that happen on this unit, and it's definitely not my favorite thing to do, to be toying with it, especially if you're trying to receive calls or something like that. I use this unit for my work phone, and I find it quite good. I would say that I could give it a rating of about 7 out of 10 for a work phone, maybe 6.5, 7 out of 10. You just want to make sure that you've got a decent charge. Don't let it die, and yeah, just try to keep it up. Well, hopefully that answered a few of your questions. Samsung Galaxy 2 S2X, and there you go. If you have any questions, just say so in the doobly-doo, and I'll get to them. And yeah, if you want a review of something else, maybe something newer, maybe something cooler, let me know. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.